to Ajmer Fort. Devnani defended by saying, "I had asked the Akbar Fort in Ajmer to be renamed as Ajmer Fort. Since I am a patriot, I have sought changes in names that have reference to terrorists."
Of hasty rechristening of well-established monuments somewhere or the other smacks of a larger political agenda. It is not my contention that a fort should necessarily be named after Akbar. But if it has been known as Akbar Ka Kila and you have changed it by an executive order at a lower level, the question must be asked, is it such a frivolous matter to change the name of a well-known monument or a fort? And if so, on whose orders did that person act? And what is the agenda behind it?
Well, Ritangshu Bhattacharya is joining us with further details on this story. Ritangshu, a controversy there erupting after Akbar's name was dropped from that fort then. This education minister also making the assertion that the Emperor Akbar was a terrorist.
Indeed, this is once again a very controversial move by the Rajasthan Education Minister, Uday. You would remember that a few weeks back the same minister had indicated that he wanted to change the history textbooks to reflect what he felt to be the real winner of the Battle of Haldighati between Maharana Pratap of Mewar and the forces of Emperor Akbar. Now, it's now we understood that he has now decided to change, and he claims to have changed the name of the fort of Akbar from Akbar Ka Kila to Ajmer Kila. Now, remember, Akbar was one of the key, Ajmer was one of the key bastions of the Mughal Empire, especially under Akbar, because it was then the patronage area of Khwaja Muinuddin Chishti, of the Sufi saint patronized by Akbar. So this is once again a big controversy that has erupted with several historians questioning the legitimacy of the move, saying that while Akbar's the brutality and the killings under Akbar's regime cannot be removed from history, but to call him a terrorist is a big leap of faith and imagination.
Just, well, stay with us, Ritangshu. We're also being joined by Rahul Gautam now. Rahul, what's the kind of reactions you're picking up now on this story after this debate has erupted now?
Well, after this story has came into light, the minister, that the Vasudev Devnani, justified his act, saying that this was done keeping in view the sentiments of the local community, and he was saying that this fort was named after the city, that is Ajmer city, which was built in the 9th century. And apart from this, he is saying that nothing in the fort is actually personally belongs to Akbar. History has always been a very sensitive issue in the Rajasthan. We saw how protests erupted when the Jodha Akbar was released. We also saw a couple of weeks back when the activist of Rajput Karni Sena actually disrupted the movie Padmavati. The political parties are now saying that this has been done. The BJP government is trying to distort the history, as they've been doing this earlier also. For this, they also cite an example that how great that was prefixed on to the name of Akbar was dropped from the textbook of Rajasthan, and they are saying that they're trying to rewrite the history. And
stay with us, Rahul. We have also been joined now by historian Firoz Bakht on the phone line. Firoz, how do you react to this debate which has broken out?
You see, as far as history is concerned, one should not play with the historical records on names. So whether it is Aurangzeb, whether it is Akbar, whether it is Shah Jahan, whether it is Shivaji, whether it is Maharana Pratap, so if the government change, they should not change the names of these historical, landmarks, whether it is a road or a monument. Because, if you play with history, this would be very unjust. This would be also unlawful. Now, in no other country, let me tell you, we see that names of roads or maybe monuments are changed that way. Now, if you want to give some other name, as you gave the Aurangzeb Road was changed to APJ Abdul Kalam Road. Fine, you do remember that person. And then, there are so many highways. You name one of the highways. Anyway, you create a new medical college in the name of APJ Abdul Kalam. In the same way, Akbar Court or whatever, there is also an Akbari mosque in the Dargah of Khwaja Moinuddin Chishti. So one should not do it. And I'll just take half a minute, maybe a couple of seconds. Let me tell you, in Lahore also there was a movement by some Talibani elements to change the names of those streets and those monuments which were, named after Hindus and Sikhs when India was united. So many people, historians and many people who loved history like us, they came onto the streets and they said, no, even if these are Hindu names or Sikh names or Christian names, we are not going to de-shape history. So this should not be done. You know, this communalist agenda, is not something which will augur well with the Prime Minister Modi's policy of taking one and all together. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. You know, even historical monuments are also a part of it. So, this government should be aware of it. If you want to give names to your own people who have done something remarkable in the past, like Hedgewar ji, like, any other person, you do it. But do not do it by, changing the old names, whosoever these names are.
Yes, and how do you react to the assertion of the minister that Akbar was a terrorist?
No, these are baseless things. Nobody is a terrorist, No ruler of India, has been a terrorist, whether it was Akbar, whether it was anyone else, because anyone who is going to rule India, he or she has to take all the people along with him or her, right? There's no question of Akbar started Deen-e-Ilahi, and many, Muslim people around him and maybe some saints also gave him the fatwa of kufr. So how can you call Akbar a terrorist? I mean, these are funny things, and I think people who cater to the voice of sanity and the voice of reason, they should come to the forefront. If my help is required, I would love to help the government to be away from such things, because these things are going to take away the goodwill of the Honorable Prime Minister and the good governance which we are seeing by the BJP government.
Okay, we'll leave it there. Feroz Ahmed, thank you for joining us with your perspective there. Let's also get in further reactions from Rahul Gautam now, who's also with us. Rahul, as you were saying, this big debate, of course, has broken out with some agreeing with the assertion of the minister and others saying history should not be changed by anyone.
Saying that the BJP government is trying to distort the history and rewrite it according to their convenience. They're saying that they've been doing this for quite some time, and how great that was prefixed to the name of Emperor Akbar was dropped from the textbooks, how the name of Aurangzeb Road was changed to APJ Abdul Kalam. On the other side, the ruling party, that is BJP, is saying that whatever is being done, it is being done keeping in view the local sentiments of the community, and they are saying that whatever is being done, it is being done keeping in view the local sentiments of the community, and they are saying that Akbar has been a bad figure in the history. I must also tell you, the history is a very sensitive issue, particularly in Rajasthan, where we have seen, folklores of Rajputana bravery and the fight and the battle they've been fought with Mughals. So they've always been saying that the BJP is trying to distort the history so that they could gain more and more support from the local community, and they will not even mind changing the history, the course of history, even though if it is not right. On the other side, the fringe. There are a lot of fringe elements also in the Rajasthan that always pop up whenever there is some movie, such as we witnessed how Jodha Akbar was, resisted by some groups. How some activists of the Rajput have disrupted the shooting of Padmavati. However, the historians are saying that we should not play with the history and we should keep it as it is. So